Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Genuine Connections podcast show. I'm your host, Joshua Smith. And you already know what time it is. We got another special guest in the building. She goes by Hannah Ratnam. How you doing, Hannah?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great, and it's an honor and pleasure to have you on the show. And before we get started, let everybody know where they can find you on social media and your work and any websites that you want people to find you at.
I'm very easily available on Facebook. It's in the same name, Hannah Ratnam. And then I also have a YouTube channel and even the Facebook with the website, it's also in the same name. So anywhere you go, you just write Hannah Ratnam and you'll find everywhere, wherever you are. Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, anywhere, same name.
Sweet. So let's start off. Tell us a little bit about your story, how you about your background, about what you do, and how and what you do in entertainment, just so people have some context on you.
Thank you, Joshua. I'll start with my background. I'm born and brought up in Pakistan, and I lived there till 2000. And then I left permanently and got provided a way to get out of that place. I did my MBA in Pakistan in sales and marketing and HR. It was a big struggle as a woman, as a Christian woman. It's hard for you to do education, and I did all my life working and studying. We are 7 brothers and sisters, and my mother, single mom, and my dad passed away when I was in grade 5. So it was a big struggle to take care of the house, take care of mom, take care of your own self, pay the bills, go to college, school, university. It was really, really hard. How in Canada or in USA you get benefits, government support you, and there are availabilities for certain situations, medical or schooling or college, or even your being a widow, like single mom. It is not like that in Pakistan. We don't get anything. So you have to do everything on your own. So that's my background. And I escaped from Pakistan in 2000, went to Dubai. In Dubai, I met my husband, and there I got married. I had a daughter, and then we moved to Canada in 2009 permanently.
Wow. And so is most of your family still in Pakistan?
Nobody. They all left. Wow. Because living in Pakistan is just like living, it's hard to explain. It's like you can leave the house, you know you're leaving your house, your family, but you don't know if you will come back or not. That's the tragedy. There's always some kind of bomb blast or killing or murder or rapes, or it's just like very messy country. It's very hard to live there, especially being Christian. It's more difficult. There's a lot of persecution going on in Pakistan for Christians.
Wow. So let's talk a little bit about that. When you and your family were living in Pakistan, where was your mother and father, were they Christian most of their life, or was this like later in life they became Christian?
We are 4th-generation Christians, so I'm the 4th generation. We have been in God, going to church. We don't get scared if we are dead on the way, or they blast us, or whatever they do. We will go to church, and everybody is so strong in their faith. They don't care whatever happens in the world. So my father is born again. My mom is also believer. So we all are the same, and we pray every day. We have church activities. But on the other side, it's very risky. It's very, very hard.
Wow. And what's the predominant religion in Pakistan?
Islam, Muslim.
Islam. Wow. Wow, it's great to hear, about the faith that you guys had during like war-torn times and times where it's just super unsafe. I would think a lot of people would want to, like, during times of of adversity, especially in a country that's where all this chaos is happening, I would think a lot of people would want to give up in those moments and just give in to want to just do what the masses are doing. But you guys stayed strong in your faith, and which is awesome. I mean, that's amazing, and I wish more people did that when times got hard, you know, because it's possible. God can get you through even a war-torn time. I had a friend who she had escaped from an African country in like a war-torn time, and she's Christian as well. And she migrated, I think, to Tanzania or something. I forget the exact country she migrated to, but she migrated to another country, and then they ended up getting placed over in the U.S. where she still resides today. And yeah, it's just, you know, that faith, it's really important, and it plays a big part of, you know, I think how our life will end up being, because I feel like when we have faith in God, you know, I mean, he's the creator of the universe, the heavens and the earth. It's like, what can't he do? You know, like I feel like
Right.
do you ever feel like sometimes like Christians, not all, but some lukewarm Christians will just put limits on God with like what he can do? Do you ever feel that way about people having that?
As far as our family is concerned, because our foundation in faith is from day one. Any Pakistani Christian, if you pick, they're very strong in their faith because we
Wow.
know that we will die. We know everyone knows we will die one day. So why not do things and then die for God? Because we just know that we don't know if we are going to leave the house, whether I'll be back or not. So our routine in the house was to, before sleeping, praying, reading Bible, doing some worship as a family and as a unit. And then we used to go to sleep. And then when we are leaving the house, we will read Psalm 23, 100, and 121 because they three are the protection Psalms. So we just leave everything in God's hand. And my mother used to say, I'm leaving you all in God's hand. And that's our every day is last bye bye. So we don't know because we don't know. But every day we come back and we thank God. And every day we have the same routine. And now it's been like, I don't know how many years this routine has been continued with me as well.
Wow, that's awesome. You know, it takes a lot of discipline, especially I feel like moving to a country that's in a safer place like Canada, or even Dubai in some parts. I feel like it takes a lot of it takes a lot of, like I said, discipline, because it's easy, I think, to forget sometimes where you've come from. You know, if like, you know, you hear in Hollywood, oh, people they went Hollywood and they forgot where they came from, and that can be the case for some people, you know, where they forget about, or they just don't. It's not that they forgot, but they just don't think about like how God got them through those times, and they just kind
Yeah.
of lose sight of that. So I think that's amazing that you've always kept that faith in God and that routine going, even now, even currently. Like that's awesome. So
Even in Hannah's dream, you will see that the script which we wrote, it says all of these things because I'm trying to transfer the legacy to my daughter because she does not understand. Or she doesn't understand the food importance, or she don't understand the schooling which she's getting, which is free, and she get two drivers, two parents, two cars, and she doesn't understand the advantages she has. So I'm trying to teach her the same thing in the story as well.
that's awesome. So tell us a little bit about Hannah's dream, and what that's about, and where you're currently at with that project.
Hannah's dream is, I would say it's no more Hannah's dream. I should rename it and say God's dream because it was God's desire that he wants his bride who's been persecuted around the world, and especially in Pakistan, and I'm Pakistani, so he used me. So when we say, Lord, I'm here, tell me what you want to do, I'm available, then God gives you some assignment. And my assignment, I would say, is to pray for the persecuted church from very beginning. I always have a heart for persecuted church because I was in that situation for many years. So I know what that means. And then God gave me a dream. And that dream, I'm in my Canadian house, and I'm watching. There is a big, huge church, white color, and there is some kind of some event is happening, maybe Christmas kind of, because there's lots of decoration and everything. And then I saw a lot of women and children in that church. And I saw there, I'm there present in the dream. I can see and feel everything. And I can see that there are two men who are trying to jump over the wall and get into the church, and they want to kill everyone. They had big guns in their hand. And I'm screaming, stop, stop, don't do this. And I'm telling people, close the door. And I'm screaming and I'm shouting in my dream. And I was doing that in reality too, in my room, in my bedroom. And then when I woke up and I told my husband, I had a very bad dream. I've never seen anything like that. And this is what I saw. And I explained him the whole dream. And he said, oh, don't worry, just pray and sleep. Nothing is wrong. I said, no, this is not nothing. This is more than anything. And it's huge. It's a huge blast. I've seen their bodies shattered. I've seen those bullets. I've seen children crying for their parents. There's police, there's ambulance, fire brigade. Everybody is running here and there. One time I'm in the hospital. One time I'm in the church. One time I'm with the children. Oh, there was so much tension going on in that dream. And then I came down, I just prayed and I said, Lord, I was crying. I said, I don't know what is happening, where this is happening. And then I just simple prayed. I did that time. And that's all. I think maybe I prayed a little bit more later. I don't remember if I did that, but I just did simple prayer that day when I had the dream. And then I was busy. I got busy with my life, my daughter's school, this, that, everything is happening. And third day, from the day I had the dream till the third day, I was feeling as if somebody has died in me. And I'm crying for nothing. I'm just watching something and I'm crying. I'm doing work and I'm crying as if I'm mourning for someone. And I told my husband, something is not good. This is not natural. I never do that. Something is not happening real. And then that day we went out. My husband said, okay, let's go out. We'll have a little break. He said, let's have dinner and we'll go and watch a movie and spend some time out. I said, okay, because I was very, very upset those days. We went, we had a good time. And then when we were watching a movie, in the movie, there was a scene where there is a fire and there's a it was an Indian movie. There's a fire and there's so much people and all that ambulance, everything was there. And then when I was looking at that scene, all that what was in my dream was on the screen. And I said, no, 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 this is not happening. This is not real. And I got scared and I said, no, I have to go home. I don't know, something is not good. So we came home in the middle of the movie, and my husband didn't like that. And we came to home. And the first thing I told him to turn on, because I was so upset with watching all that. And I said, no, this is not something real. Something has wrong somewhere. In my spirit, I was feeling that something is happening right now. So as soon as we came back home, because my time, Vancouver time with Pakistan time is 12 hours difference. So my night means their morning. So my Saturday is their Sunday morning. And it happened on the Sunday morning during the church. There was a blast, huge blast. And whatever they were showing on the screen in the TV is exactly that what I saw 3 days before. So I was guilty. I was so much upset. And I said, Lord, please forgive me. I didn't take it so seriously. I didn't do prayer the way I should. I was very, very guilty. And I was crying and repenting. And I said, I promise you, next time when you tell me anything, I'm not going to make it so easy. And I'm not going to go and watch a movie for that, for sure. And I'm not going out and having a dinner or lunch for sure. So that was my promise to God. And I said, that's all. This is the end of all my lifestyle. Whatever I've done in the past, it's over. I gave myself to God 100%. And I said, tell me, what do you want me to do? So I kept praying for almost 5-6 years just for this dream, all those people. everybody, whoever, every time I see one face and their body shattered or blood or whatever, I said, Lord, I can't do nothing for them. What do I do? I'm new to Canada. I don't know what to do. And I kept praying and kept praying and kept praying. And then I don't know what happened. I had no clue at that time what is going to happen with this all prayer. And I heard a voice, Habakkuk 2:2. And I said, okay, what do I do with this now? Because I was not too much in God. I was not like having an intimate relationship. I was Christian by birth, but I didn't have a relationship at that time with God. So I said, what is this Habakkuk 2:2? What do I do with that? So when I was reading, it says, write in big words so people from far who are running can see. So I prayed for that verse for 2 years. I said, Lord, where people are running, where this big book is or whatever it is, I don't know. What do you want me to do with this? And then I kept praying for Habakkuk 2:2 for almost 2-3 years. And then I always ask God, oh, what next? What do I do next? What do I have to do? I don't know what to do. I'm lost. I don't know who to contact. And then I heard another voice. God told me, Christian media. That was my first time knowing that there is a Christian media where Christian movies are made. So I contacted them. I just told her the same thing what God told me. And there was a lady, she said, go and meet this conference. There's a huge conference happening. Go and meet them. And I said, okay. And I'm first time traveling and I don't know how to meet anybody. I'm not from the film background. I don't know nothing about films. And I said, Lord, this is something big. I cannot do. I don't know how to go. Provide people, provide finances, provide this, for everything. There's a long list. God provided. I went there. I met a lot of people there. Everybody said, go and write as a script. So I said, oh my God, what is this script even? I don't know what is script. So I start praying for the script, what is script? And I Google and I asked many people, school, colleges, university, I wrote everywhere. I need a script writer. I need to talk. Many people don't like faith stories, so they reject it. They say, no, they are not interested in. Some say they will, but they never end up writing. Then I got frustrated again and I said, Lord, I don't know, first of all, what is the script? And I don't know how to write. You know, my English is not good. I never studied English. So how do I write? I don't know. Either you send somebody or you tell me how to write, so I'll write. And then I start praying, and then God told me to open Facebook. And first time in my life, in 2017, I opened Facebook. And I wrote first ad there saying, I am looking for a script writer who can write faith-based story. And that is on persecuted church in Pakistan. Just 2 lines I wrote. And all of a sudden I got a reply. And that lady said, I'm ready. And I said, oh my God, I don't know her and she don't know me. And she's saying she's ready. And then with that, I got confidence and I said, let's talk and I'll tell you my whole story. And she kept saying, I'm ready to write. No matter what story you have, I'm there to write. We talk, 6 months back and forth, communication happened. And then we end up writing the script. She is very qualified. She knows how to write. And I thank God for her life. She wrote the script. And then when the script was ready, somebody told me you can submit those scripts in the film festivals to see how your script is doing. So I said, okay, so this is again something new for me. I've never done in my life. And I don't know where these film festivals are and how to do. So everything was so much work for me to go through. It was a hard path to move because my English is not good. I've never been to any industry. I don't know film life, no education in that. So it was very complicated for me. Somehow I learned and did this, and I submitted my first time in my life to CIFF, Christian International Family and Faith Festival in Toronto. And there they nominated right away. And right away they accepted. selected, and they got the award for Hannah's Dream. That was the first award Hannah's Dream received it. And the date which I received it was 19 September 2020.
Wow.
So the date of my dream, the month of the dream is same, and it's exactly after 7 years. So from 19 September 2020, 2013 till 19 September 2020, when I was holding one day my award in the church with my pastor, I heard a voice, "This is your reward." And I said, "Oh my Lord, I don't know. This is my reward for all those prayers and all those cries and everything got rewarded for that day." And since then, I kept applying in different faith-based and non-faith-based film festivals around the world, and then received 22 awards till today.
Wow, what a story. I mean, that's an incredible journey you've been on so far. And that's just now you're at pre-production, which is amazing. So much has happened since pre-production, and your faith, it sounds like it's been, unwavering, during this time. You always told God, "Hey, I'll do it, but just show me the way," or give me somebody that can do it, because I don't know how to do this thing. And your faith prevailed, and God came through.
Yeah.
Big time. I'm curious too. I saw that in your bio that I was reading that in your earlier life, you discovered God had given you a gift for hearing and seeing supernatural visions and messages from him. Tell us a little bit about that, and kind of how it relates to, for those that don't know, like imagine someone listening to the show that doesn't know much about that. Tell us a little bit about that with your experience with hearing and seeing supernatural visions from God.
According to Bible, it is mentioned that in the last days, in Joel 2, he says, in the last days, he's going to pour out his spirit, which is his Holy Spirit, to everyone, anybody and everyone who seeks him. He will provide that gift. And in that, old will see dreams and young will have visions. So this is according to Bible, which is there. But in my case, when I was in the world too much, I was not very, very Christian, I would say, or have relationship with God. There are two kind of Christians. One, there is a label on your forehead that you are Christian. So you go to church, you attend some meetings. It's just like formality kind of a Christian. But there's another kind of Christians, those who are having deep relationship, intimate relationship with God. And then when you have intimate relationship, there you begin having more connection. For example, husband and wife, we have intimate relationship, we talk, we sit, we enjoy our time. So we know each other so well. It's the same way you know God so well and God know you so well. You talk. So when you talk to God, then you can hear voices. God, when I was having all this beginning of my life with God, I said, "Lord, tune my ears. I want to hear you. Tune my eyes so I can see you." Because now my eyes, my heart, my ear is focused on God's work, where I have committed that I will do whatever you will tell me to do. So it took a lot of time. Those 5-6 years was actually my training time, sitting and praying. And I used to get up at 4 o'clock, pray and read Bible and then worship. So this is my quiet time with God. All those years, even now, I do almost all that practice even today. And with that quiet time, God will come and he'll talk to you. Whether he'll come in the form of voice or he will come in the form of a picture, you can see things, or maybe he'll come through somebody, or maybe when you're sleeping, he'll give you a dream. But there are different ways how he likes to talk to his people. So you have to be available to hear, see, and think. So I start praying. I always had dreams when I was at age of 9. I had my first dream. And whatever God showed me in that dream, that was when my sister was not even married. I saw a baby girl in her house and the face and everything I saw, and I told my mom. So my mom knew it that I have this gift, and that was how she was training me and preparing me all these years. But I was so busy in the world. And then when I was in Canada, my mom passed away in 2010. And that was my turning point. And I said, oh my God, now I don't have a person who can pray for me. And every time my mom used to pray, she used to get everything. And I was lucky. I said, wow, mom, please pray for me for this. And I get right away. So now she's not there and I'm lost and I'm in a different country. I cannot go and meet her. She's sick. And when she died, that time I said, oh, what was that? What she was praying to? And who was that who was giving it to her? And how she was getting right away? So those things were very important in my life because I need that now. I'm alone. I don't have anyone. My mom is left. She's with God. And I said, what was that, Lord? You gave it to my mom. I need that thing. And I don't know what is that thing. I don't know what she was blessed with even. So I started praying for the gifts which God gave it to my mother. And then on 11th September 2011, I received baptism of Holy Spirit. And that day it was all very clear. It was it was as clear as anything. And that day I had my first vision. Vision means that with your open eyes, you can see supernatural things. So if you are seeking God and you want to know what He wants you to do, this is what I did. I prayed. I spent time. I read Bible. I sometimes I just sit quiet and I want to hear if He's saying something. Sometimes you have to hear more and talk less. So I quietly sit down sometimes doing nothing, just focusing on Him. Lord, talk to me. Tell me what you want me to do. And that's how all this Hannah's dream came into life, all the other story came into life. And that's why I say I have supernatural stories. Even my YouTube channel title and my production company title is Supernatural Stories Limited.
That's awesome. You said something that resonated with me, which was, you know, sometimes you have to hear more and talk less, which I think a lot of people these days, in general, have a hard time doing because, so with the social media era that we're in, everyone wants to talk about themselves and, just promote themselves, which is, it's great to a degree. But at the same time, I think, especially with the young generation, they tend to have issue with listening, instead of just sitting there and just hearing what someone has to say. They're distracted on their phone and they're just talking and giving their opinion, but then they don't want to just sit there and listen. And I think, to kind of riff off of what you're saying about how sometimes you just have to be still and quiet and just ask the Lord, like, hey, what do you want me to do? I'm gonna just wait until you give me direction.
Yeah.
Those moments, like for me, I've been finding that I find direction the most when I am getting in my word, I'm praying more, and I'm fasting is another one that I've been doing a lot more. And fasting is like such a huge, it's been, for me, it's been the time that I've felt closest to God is when I'm fasting and when I'm praying and when I'm putting more of my focus and energy into, reading his word. And he's grown in an excitement in me about wanting to grow closer to him because of that I've never had before. This has been a recent thing for me where I'm like, whoa, I'm like, every day I get excited to read the Bible, where before I used to see it as a task. And I didn't understand why some of those Christians that do get excited, about listening to what God has to say to them and just sitting there and reading the Bible for hours. I didn't understand where that happiness came from, but now I do, because it's like there's this invisible spiritual world we can't see. There's this battle between angels and demons that we can't see, but it's all around us, all day long, everywhere. And there's spiritual implications, like you were saying, like when you were watching that movie and you had to walk out of the theater, you know, there's going to be times where it's like, if you, like you said, like if you listen, you can hear what the Holy Spirit is saying to you. He'll let you know like when something's not good and you should get out of there, or that, this person's not a trustworthy person, so you should probably not put yourself in a situation with that person, or whatever the case may be. And I think it's important, especially in today with a day full of distractions, to just put yourself in a quiet place, study the word, fast, grow closer to God, and listen to what he has to say, because we speak to people every day on social media and texts and on Facebook. I think for once as humanity, we need to just like listen and just hear what he has to say and just be patient. Patience is another thing, is that people,
It's hard.
it is
Whew.
hard.
What I learned in these years, if God has given me today's day, that means I have 24 hours. That's my new life. So in that 24 hours, I have to give back to an 2.5 hours to God, because that is the tithing of my day per day. That's what I did. So I start doing like somebody's sick, so I cook for somebody. I'm a good cook also, by the way.
Hey.
And if I and if I am I know somebody needs help with driving, so I'll drive them around. And if somebody needs prayers, I'll pray with them. Something I have to do it for the community, something for his people. And I also volunteer a lot. I have been not now recently because I'm busy with Hannah's Dream, but before I was volunteering with a senior home and a persecuted church in Pakistan. Here I was also volunteering with teens, preteens, single moms. So I did a lot of volunteer work so I can learn and give it back. So that's what I practice in my life recently in these years, since
That's
I'm in
awesome.
Canada.
Do you and your husband do some volunteer work together as well, or are you mainly solo when you're giving in these different ways?
This is my one day, so this is my tithing. It's
Mm,
God has given me this life, so it's my responsibility. This is how I do it. I'm not saying that maybe somebody does in different way, but this is how I did, and this is what I felt that it is important. If I can give tithing, God doesn't need my money. He's so rich, he's so full with everything. He doesn't need my $100 or $200 or whatever dollars. He's not interested, but he sees your attitude, he sees your passion, your heart, and that's how you get blessed. So when I give more, I get more back. It's kind
mm.
of a deal.
Yeah, I think that's another principle too, that to add on to what you're saying, I think it's also good that when we're giving, that we don't necessarily publicize it every single time, because there's a lot of people that will say they'll take photos of themselves at a shoe drive where they're passing out shoes to homeless people, or they're doing something to help kids out or something. And just like, you don't have to show that. Like God,
Market that.
yeah, God honors what you do, I feel, more in private than what you do in public, because
Right.
it's basically just boasting about it. Like, even if you're unintentionally, even if you don't mean to boast about it, it's still like, well, why is that? Why do we need to, you know let everybody know that I gave $5 to this homeless guy today? It's not going to help me in any way or anyone else that's out there. So I think, yeah, what you're doing is awesome, with tithing. And I think too, for Christians, I think some people don't realize that tithing, it's not just giving money, it's time as well,
Yeah.
like in service, like giving your time in service to others, like going out. And one thing I would love to do this year is which I did years ago, one time, was I basically, when I first got to LA 6 years ago now, I didn't get to go home for Christmas at the time. And so I was like, well, I want to do something to give back, since I'm going to be at my new apartment in LA. I don't really know anyone, but I slowly started to make a couple of friends. And so I put like a little charity thing together where I was asking people for donations so I can go down to Skid Row and pass out like little gifts that had little packages that had Bibles in them and stuff. And I was, in prayer and staying faithful to God, and he blessed it even more, because we were able to pass out food on top of the 50 little gift bags that was given out to people. And I want to go back down there and do some more work in Skid Row, because that's a community that definitely could use hope down there, and more witnesses of God,
Yeah.
down there. And I've realized too, a lot of homeless folks, like when and different times that I've given and stuff, they'll tend to say God bless. And there's in the Bible, God
Mm.
talks about how, you know, he doesn't say tithe to the rich pastor on the pulpit.
Yeah.
He says give to the poor. He says that often in the Bible.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. And like we've been talking about, like not to boast about it and stuff and such, because he's not gonna pay attention to those. He's not gonna give you props for boasting about all the times that you've helped people. But all those times that you're privately in your prayer closet, or if you're giving in private when no one else is around, those are the moments that God honors. So I think that's something that all of us could practice more, for sure. I love your passion about wanting to get more of the word out about the persecuted church. And besides in Pakistan, what are some of the other nations that you know of that are having a big issue with being persecuted as Christians?
It's an international dilemma. You can see all the Arab, like Syria, Iran, Iraq had always issues. Now they had in Afghanistan. Afghanistan and Peshawar are just like very close. Then in all the African states, USA, I don't know how much, but there is happening. And in Canada also there is happening. But it's very quietly, but we are very close to that. We never know what will happen tomorrow. So the persecution is not about, even in India, it has started. It's getting very, very bad there because they want everyone to be Hindu, not Muslim or Christian. In Pakistan, they want everyone to be Muslim, not Christian or any other nation. So it's just like a lot of religion issue going on. I don't understand why someone has to force or convince or put you in a situation where you have to convert. If God wants to touch you, bless you, he will show you in your dream, in your vision, or he'll send somebody, or he will prepare you if you want to convert. But why forcefully, why putting you in jail and beating you and forcefully putting law on you? And there are so many things had happened, which is not human. It's not human at all. We are humans. We are not animals. Even animals are much, much better in our countries. They get everything. But if you compare the humans in these countries, they are worse than even animals. There's no value for people there. There are gang rapes. Women are working in somebody's home, and the guy or whatever, the boy, and they rape them. It's just happening. It's just like a spirit in that place, which is nonstop going on.
Wow. Yeah, there's a ton of persecution going on. China too. I've heard that
Yeah.
Christians have to be underground over there, and it's rough. And I think eventually, in the U.S., of course, I think it's gonna get. Eventually, we're gonna get to a time where there'll be the mark of the beast, and people are gonna have to either people will follow the Antichrist and Satan, or they'll follow God and be persecuted everywhere. That day is coming, and
Yeah.
we don't know the day or the hour that that Jesus is coming back, but I think people underestimate what that's going to be like, and it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be like how people are in hiding in other countries that they're Christian. It's going to be similar, but also it says in the Bible, you're not going to be able to buy or sell without the mark. And so I think that's an underestimated I think people underestimate what that's going to actually be like not being able to buy food for your family unless you take this mark. That's going to be a hard decision, to come down to for a lot of people out there. And there's going to be a lot of Christians in the end days, unfortunately. And I wish and I wish it wasn't like this, but there's going to be a lot of people that lose their faith, and that they just cave just because of their fleshy desires for food or whatnot. But it's like God can sustain us. I mean, look at Jesus, did a 40-day, 40-night fast, and he said, "Get behind me, Satan," because he had the power of God in him. God can get you through. But I mean, the end time, the last days, I feel like we're, every day it grows closer and closer to the very end of
Yeah.
this earth. And I think this is the best time to grow close to God, because it's not tomorrow, but it's today. It's now. It's not like, do what you can currently. Don't focus on having to be the perfect Christian or have to know all this spiritual stuff right away. That'll come. God will reveal that to you, but just do what you can with where you're at, and eventually
Right.
God will bring, because like he talks about in the Bible, like some people are at a place where they're still drinking baby's milk in terms spiritually, right?
Mm,
And then there's other people that are eating meat. Babies, they don't, as humans, we don't stay drinking milk our whole life. Our
mm.
mother's milk, eventually you grow off that and you start getting
Mature.
soft, yeah, mixtures, then soft foods, and then harder foods, and then to be able to eventually eat meat. And so it's a progress. Things take time, and it just takes faith, and takes, I think, dedication to God, and really surrendering to him, because of the ways of this world. I mean, they keep getting more wicked and wicked by the day. And yeah, it's just crazy times we're going into. But I'm curious in terms of writing. So you co-author and co-write some of these scripts. What's that process like for you when you're in particular, let's start with Hannah's Dreams. Like when you were meeting with the writer, did you kind of give her an outline of what to write, or what was the process that you guys did to write that script?
She's in USA. I'm in Canada, so I cannot meet her personally. So what I requested her if she can have a WhatsApp on her phone, which is free for everybody. And then with that, we had almost everyday communication. And when I was telling her my story on either voice messages or either on the phone, so she was writing. And then I made also I just like a simple journal where I wrote my stories. I have 3 books now where I'm writing all my dreams and visions. So I told her this is what the story is, how it looks, and then we did a lot of research to prove it. What we are writing is not wrong, or what is happening is there. It's practically happening. So we had all the data, we had done all the research, how many persecution happens in 1 year and which areas, which part of Pakistan. So there was a lot of homework we did, because my story is from back home. So my childhood, my mother, my siblings, everybody. So we are talking about almost 30, 40 years back. So we did homework for 30, 40 years back, what happened in those years. So what government did, or what politics was there, what law was there. So we did a lot of homework on that before finalizing the script. So when we will make the movie, the script says in the end that this is after paying to all the production team or whoever needs whatever, then the money is going to use for the persecuted church in Pakistan, either to take care of their medical needs or whatever their other needs, or we want people to be sponsored and taken out from that hell. So the purpose of making this movie is not making money for me or anybody. Everybody is volunteer right now. We are almost 22 people who are volunteering, and they have not been paid 1 penny. So this is their dedication, this is their passion, this is their love for the God, and that's how we have come this far. So now we are going to have more people involved, and somebody will do editing for the feature film. Somebody's doing, there's so many people doing so much work in this project. So writing is just not writing a story. Writing is
Yeah.
doing research, finding facts, finding truth. We did some biblical study and put that also in the story. So it's because it's a Christian family, and the story is about their faith and about their commitment to God. And my mother's story is there. So Christianity is there, faith is there, how you walk in the faith is there. So there's so much different areas which we have covered in the script.
That's awesome. And in terms of, for those wondering, like, wow, 22 people on the project that are all volunteers, and and for those people that are right now that are listening that are going, how did she get that many people to volunteer their time? What was your how for that? Like, what was your, what was like your pitch like when you're talking to these individuals about this particular project? Because that can, in the indie film world, that can be hard to get people to align with your vision. For me personally, I tend to find I like to work with people that I have a good track record with already, but sometimes when you're working with new people, you kind of have to vet if, one, they're into the project, and I like to know why that they would want to be a part of my project. So I'm just curious, what was your selectivity process like when it came to bringing on some of these team members, and how did you get them to say yes to the volunteer work on it?
The very first thing I would say, pray, because I don't know anybody in the media. I'm not from the industry. I had no connections. So I prayed and I said, Lord, like I prayed for my scriptwriter. So God sent somebody as a scriptwriter. And then when I was praying, when we were doing the script, then I said, Lord, now what do I do? So we start doing film festivals. Now, Hannah's dream is having a very strong foundation. So it's very, very well done in the beginning of 6 months, 8 months, I would say, in the beginning. I think that is also one of the reasons where it has attracted people to come to the to work in Hannah's dream, because they see that I have, or my scriptwriter or other people have been praying and we have been dedicatedly working. Nobody has been paid from the day one. Even my scriptwriter has not received a penny. So that is also her contribution. When I asked her, we have an MOUs with everybody, but when I asked her, how much do I have to pay you? And she gave me not one number, which I have in my contract with her. But she says, I don't want money to write the faith-based story, because I know this is something which is going to be a big, and God is already blessing me, and I'm not starving, or I'm not on the street to write this story. So God already prepared people. That's the first thing I would say. And secondly, when I pray and I contact, God gives me names. Or sometimes I'm just on Facebook and I say, Lord, who do I contact today? Or who do I meet today? Or who should I even talk about this story? And then I just close my eyes and I pray. And sometimes they contact me, and sometimes I just write, I'm Hannah, this is my story, this many word, I leave my post. And then they right away reply and they said, whoa, let's do it. And then we just start doing it. So I don't know, God just bring people on his own. These are all from, I would say, God, nothing about me. I just told them what the project is, and they went to read the story and they see everything. And that's how I think I met you as well.
Yeah, I think it was a Christian filmmaker group that we're both in. And
yeah,
I had put a post out about the podcast. I was looking for more guests, and you had responded there. And I think that's, sometimes it like you said, it takes faith in God and trusting him that he's going to bring the right people to you, and prayer. What I've realized, especially these past couple of months, is that that is your conversation you're having with God, that direct line with God. So it's like you're
Wi-Fi.
literally,
I call it Wi-Fi.
exactly, and that's the best reception you'll ever have, right there. So, I mean, that Wi-Fi, as soon as you get into prayer, your Wi-Fi is turned on. You're talking to the Lord, and He hears you. And I think that it's amazing that the theme of this episode has seemed to be prayer and faith, and waiting for God to give you an answer, like with patience, on who to go with. Because sometimes it can be hard. When I put out a ad on Craigslist a couple months ago to find my DP for my last film, I mean, we had like 15 like directors of photography and cinematographers hit us up. And it was kind of I was like, who am I gonna choose? And it takes patience, and we'll look through all their work, and then we'll call a couple of them and see which one would be best. And you got to pray and stuff like that, and God's going to bring the right people. It's just, I think
Right.
that trusting him aspect of it can be hard for people, because faith is what it's trusting in what you can't see that God is doing behind the scenes in your
Hmm.
life, and especially in the spirit world. I'm curious too, with dreams, do you ever have people, since one of your gifts is interpreting your own dreams and such, do you ever have people that come up to you and ask you to interpret their dreams?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. How's that been like? Has it been like is it something that often happens to you? Will people will come to you often, or is it like a once in a while type thing?
Um, it depends. If like I don't know, somebody just called me and they say, "This is happening, and can you please pray for us?" Just simple prayer. And when I'm praying for them, I see some stuff or I hear something, and I said I don't say anything right away because I don't know what's actually going there. And some people are private and some not. So I just pray and I just pray, and then when I'm praying with them, they just talk and they say this happened, that happened, and then da 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 da. And I said, okay, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to help you? And then they start sharing me their story. And then I say, I saw this for you. And then they say, sometimes they're surprised. They don't know that I already know that. And sometimes they get scared because they know that I know now everything. So I said, don't worry, I'm not going to share with anyone. It's just between you and me and God. But since you asked me, that's what I'm telling you. So I've prayed for sick people. I've prayed for marriages. I've prayed for young kids, somebody in accident. So God gave me this gift for protecting people also. So I just pray. This is my job. This is how I'm living my life. I have to pray for people.
That's awesome. And for those, because on the show, what's been cool about it is I've gotten a mixture of Christians that are in entertainment that I talk to, and I have also a mixture of non-Christians, or I don't know if they're Christian or not yet until after. So like, oh, I didn't know you were Christian. For those that aren't Christian that are listening to the show, what would you say is the difference between someone that is like a fortune teller that is interpreting things, and the Christian version of what you've been talking about when it comes to interpreting dreams and stuff? What's like the major difference, would you say?
I don't say there's like comparison. I won't say it's like comparing anything. God can talk to anybody. God can even talk to donkeys. In the Bible, God has spoken to people who are not Christian. He has spoken to Jews also. He's spoken to, we call now Christian because after Christ, we are Christians. But before even Christianity, there were a lot of people who had dreams and visions, and God talked to them through somebody, prophet. So it's completely up to you how you want a connection with God. Even you can start right away. If you're listening now and you say, Lord, I want to talk to you, talk to me. Just go in your quiet corner, pray, just simple with your own heart, just simple words. Say, Lord, I'm here. I want to know you more, and I want that time. Give me that time to dedicate for you. And I want to know what you want me to do. So when you open yourself, you're available for Him, you will hear His voice. You will know what is going on in the world and what He wants from your life, actually. It's not just having a dream and having fun with it's not fun thing. Oh, don't ask me, it's tiring. Your brain is tired, your body is tired. When you're praying and praying for people, you're exhausted. Sometimes you cry with the Spirit. Your body is tired in that, so you get a lot of exertion. It's not easy job. It's not Monday to Friday job, coming and lying on the couch. No, if He wants you to be up at 2 o'clock, you have to get up. If He says sit and pray, you just leave everything and you just sit and pray wherever you are. So His timing does not go with my normal life a Monday to Friday schedule. No, it's not like that. It's very, very committed job.
That's a good point. Because when God, when God has something he wants you to do, you have to go with his timing. His timing is always the best timing anyway. And it's I've heard stories from people that from other Christians that they, you know, they fought what the Holy Spirit was saying to them. Like, oh, like for instance, uh, like one time I was fasting, and I had picked up some food when I was doing Uber Eats at the time, and I basically had an extra order that the restaurant had gotten wrong. So they said you can keep the food, and I was like, great. You give me free food that I can't eat because I'm on a fast. But I didn't tell them that because I just kept that private. But in my head, I was like, oh man. And so I was driving down this one street, and I saw this guy going through some trash, and I had felt inside of me that I should give him food, but I kept driving, and something kept telling me go back and give that man that meal. And so I was like, okay, all right, we'll obey you, Holy Spirit. And so I made a big old U-turn, and I drove back up it was a big hill too. I drove all the way back up, and I was like, sir. I was like, hey, would you like a meal? And he was like, oh yes. And I gave him the meal, and then I just kept it moving. But you have to obey him when these times, because he might be trying to tell you something super important, or that person might need. You never know why sometimes you don't know why he's doing a particular thing with you until later, or you may never know, but that may be that one thing that person needed at that time in their life that puts them on the trajectory that grows them close to God, or closer to God, or brings them to him. Because maybe they've been praying, like maybe that guy hadn't been eating all day or for a couple of days, and he's been having a hard time, getting money for food. And here comes this random stranger, and it's like, hey, here you go, and maybe he had been praying for that, and maybe he was losing hope that he's never gonna, get out of the situation. But maybe that was the thing that, was his point of, I need to, do something different, or I need to trust God more, or whatever. So yeah, I think that's important, like as you've been saying, that trusting God, and that he can use us in different ways. We just got to listen. So I think that's pretty awesome. I'll ask two more questions, and my first question is for young Christians out there that want to, and non-Christians too, that want to break into filmmaking. What would be your advice to them?
Okay, if you're Canadian or American, everything is available here. So always think people who are from India, Pakistan, or people like me who doesn't have education in English even. I've never studied English in my whole life. So for me to struggle and come this far is really hard. But the kids nowadays here are so fortunate. Their parents have everything. They have houses, they have cars, they have food. That's the basic necessity which we need. Everyone needs it. If you see and compare the youth there and you compare the youth here, it's way different. So use that gift which God has given you. You have parents' gift, you have food as a gift, you have luxuries as a gift. Everything is there for you. So don't deny and say, oh, this is crap, this is that. Don't deny the blessings of God. This is first that you have to be thankful what God has provided you. So when you are thankful for things, whatever you have surrounded with, God will bless you double. The more you thank, the more God will bless you. And then whatever talents you have, maybe somebody has a beautiful voice and they can sing. Even you can sing in your home. Just take simple mic. Nowadays, there are so many things available in the schools, universities. You can go to the stores and get it for rental. Here, so much is there. Back home, we don't have all this, but we have some other ways to do it. learn your talent, go to school, learn your skill, brush up yourself. And when you are ready, and continue praying, saying, Lord, I'm doing this. I need your blessing. Please help me do this. So go to God, go to your parents, obey them, and then you do what you have to do. And then you see how things will work and how things will open for you. You will not have any imagine the way God will bless you through strangers, through your parents, through your family. God can just overflow you with things. And sometimes you already have it, but you're not doing it because you're too busy with your friends, you're too busy in the world, either you're too busy on TV, phone, whatever. You have to discipline your life. You have to cut down some things. If you need to grow in life, you have to discipline yourself with your timing. If you're just sleeping all day, that's not nice, even if that's not nice for your health. So discipline your sleep, discipline your eating, discipline your work, your school, your timing needs to be very, very disciplined in life. Once you know how to discipline everything, you will get extra time, and that extra time is the time where you can spend and learn other things and pray that God help me writing, help me producing, help me connecting with these people. And then you just keep writing. That's what I did. I just ask everyone, can you help me? Do you know anybody like this? Can you connect me to somebody? And people just start coming in my life from here, there, and now we have a good team. I'm so blessed about that.
That's some really good sound advice right there. I definitely resonated with the discipline because that's what I've been focused on. And it's discipline's key. Is key right there because we're in a world full of distractions now, especially those that live in America and they live in Canada and countries like that. You know, it's easy to get distracted just binge watching the latest Netflix series or watching or films all day or scrolling on social media all day. And it's not healthy. It's not good. It's not, it's the opposite of discipline. And like you said, you know, when you discipline yourself, you actually end up freeing up more space later on, because when life is just chaotic and just you just have so many different endeavors you're doing, you have all these things that you're focused on, and you're constantly on social media. When you have every free second of the day that you have, you're on your phone on Instagram scrolling or TikTok, and it's just like, why? Like, spend that time disciplining yourself, learning something, you know, like praying, like use that time more wisely, because you never know when your time is up. And why spend your last seconds on this earth scrolling on TikTok and watching dancing videos? Like, come on, there's better things we could be doing with our time. But anyway, my last question is, and we on this show we call it the champagne question. Now it's okay if you don't drink, because you can replace it with.
I don't drink.
Well, good. That's a good habit. You can replace it with sparkling apple cider or whatever drink you'd like. And the question is this: a year from today, Hannah, you and I meet with a bottle of sparkling apple cider. What are we celebrating?
Hannah's dream on the big screen.
Hey.
That Habakkuk 2:2 has to go to that big screen so people from far can see. And this testimony has to go till the end of the earth, because Matthew 24, it's very clearly said. I was reading that long time ago, and it says, I was hungry, thirsty, naked. I was in the jail. When the jail part came, it just illuminated for me. And I said, when was God in jail? So, and I was thinking in my own words, but that is not, God is in jail. His people are in jail. And when he says, I was persecuted, nobody came and visit me. That was very hurtful for me. And I said, oh my Lord, am I doing something wrong here? And I prayed, and then God says, when you, in the end, I think on the 24 verse, it says, when you come to in front of my Father, the way you denied me, I will deny you. Oh my God, that was the most scary part I read. And I said, Lord, am I denying you here? Am I doing something wrong? And then I said, okay, Tell me what you want me to do. And I don't want God to deny me when I'm in, if I'm in heaven. I don't want him to deny me because my parents are there, my all family, I want to meet them. That's what my target is. My focus is to do things which is to be done on the earth before I leave. I don't know when, but I want to finish everything what God has given me as my big responsibility. And I'm targeted with that. I'm focused with that. And I want to finish my assignment before I go there. So that is very, very important for me to just every day keep my eyes like this and never see here and there and just do whatever God is asking me to do every day. And I also like the verse, David, in the book of David, he says, what is the use of all these talents and gifts? When I die, they will just go under the ground. So give me blessings so I can use them. What's the point of you being gifted with a voice or filmmaking or whatever you're doing? What is the point of that gift if you're not using it? So use your gifts, use your talent, use your passion, use your whatever God has given you for his testimony. Share it with others so people know who God is.
Amen to that. I couldn't agree anymore. I mean, that's huge. You know, I think people should use their gifts because, like, again, we only have one life to live, and every day that you have a chance to use this gift in a way that can help others, like filmmaking or singing or writing, use it. You know, and use it for God's kingdom, because the church needs more people that are going to step up and be on fire for God, not lukewarm.
Yeah.
We're talking about the temperature turned all the way up. That's what the kingdom needs. Doesn't need, because he says if you're lukewarm, he will spit you out of his mouth. So be on fire for God, guys, and just use those gifts, as Hannah said. And one more time, Hannah, let everybody know where they can find your website and Hannah's Dream, and anywhere else you want people to look you up on social media.
I'm available on website, Facebook, and YouTube channel. Mostly I'm on my messenger where I can quickly respond. It's in the same name, Hannah Ratnam, HANNAH. Ratnam. It's the same name everywhere. And you can also leave my contact details below so people can go and check personally. I'm available if you are interested in contributing towards Hannah's Dream with anything, your passion, talent, skills, abilities, money, prayer, you're most welcome.
Awesome. Well, guys, make sure you go check out Hannah's website and find her on all the social media platforms. And again, Hannah, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been such a joy and pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you for inviting. Thank you so much.
Of course. And guys, make sure to tune in again next time. It's been a joy talking with everybody, and stay tuned for the next episode to come.